Got a lot of leaves this year. Man, did they drop this week everywhere. I got a mess. I got to clean all them up now. And if I can just get them on the other side of the gravel, though, they blow through the fence and the heifers eat them. So that's kind of nice. So
one of the things I like about not having a fenced yard.
There you go.
The Breakfast Flakes podcast brought to you by the Blue Cat Bar and Grill, next to the Roadside Event Center in Huntley. The Blue Cat, it's where it's at.
5:25, Mark and Paul. Finally Friday, getting things printed, highlighted, ready for the day. Big old supermoon out there. And this from the Billings Police Department about the shooting at the Reno Club.
There was a shooting?
Yeah.
Dang it, and we weren't there.
On November 14th, 2024, 1:52 a.m., an officer with the Billings Police Department responded to a shooting in the 100 block of Calhoun Lane. I wish they would just give the business name. They always give the address. It was reported that the responding officers, that there were multiple victims on the scene. Officers arrived, located the individuals, a male and a female with non-life-threatening gunshot wounds, and a deceased male with a gunshot wound. All of the involved parties and numerous witnesses were located on the scene. Initial investigation indicates there was a verbal argument that broke out between the involved parties. During the argument, a 46-year-old male pulled out a firearm, began shooting at a 38-year-old male and a 42-year-old female, striking them both. The involved female pulled out a firearm and attempted to return fire. A bystander, a 25-year-old male who initially was not involved, witnessed the 46-year-old male shooting at the male and female, and he pulled a gun out and he shot the 46-year-old male. At the time of this release, Billings Police Departments are still on the scene. Investigation is ongoing.
There's a lesson here to be learned.
The first one is something my dad always said. Nothing good happens after midnight. When you're out, nothing good happens after midnight.
Yeah, that was at, 1:26 or something?
Yeah.
Yep.
So that was bad. And then the three people arguing all had guns, and then some guy in the crowd had a gun.
Everybody's packing, Well, if need be, this week with the melee on Montana Avenue, they had backup down there.
Fellas, all you got to do is say something.
I mean, Mark and I were, we had your back.
Well, and part of the problem is if the law enforcement is on scene, you can't just pull out your firearm and join
right,
them in.
because they'll shoot you.
That's right.
That's true. Oh, boy.
Getting a lot of calls for deliveries for Flakesgiving, but that's all next week. And it's frustrating because all these people calling, they don't not just listen to us, they don't listen to any local radio station. And then Paul and I got a call in here a couple days ago, something to do with the police. And the guy didn't know that he had called a radio station, and they're trying to raise money for something. And rather than give us the spiel, he had just recorded it. Yeah. So every person he calls, every phone number he calls, he doesn't have to give the spiel over and over. So we were trying to ask questions and interrupt, and long story short, we didn't get to the end of the recording, and he didn't sell anything.
No. Back to the shooting, isn't it illegal to carry in a bar?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought it is.
Even with the concealed carry, you're not supposed to have a gun in a bar.
Yeah, or bank.
Bank.
I don't think you
government buildings.
Yeah, stuff like that. Airports.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, and mix it with alcohol, and there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. It was chilly today. I had 19 degrees when I left the house this morning.
I had 21. It was cold.
And had to stop and let the deer cross there at Wixon, Maine in the Heights this morning. They were crossing the road, heading down, no doubt, into that Alkali Creek area down in there. There's water down there.
Coming in on Dover, I had deer in a different spot than I'd seen them. They were in the same spot they were when my daughter hit one last year. You know what you were talking about yesterday? You can't just live your life in fear. Well, once you or somebody in your family has hit a deer on a certain stretch of road, you can go slower.
Yeah, you will always go slower in that stretch, but not all the other ones.
Oh, no, the rest of it's fine.
Yeah, see? And I've never hit a deer in the same place twice. So I was thinking this morning, too, on the way in, well, I had a train, so I had to turn around and come in the other way. And I came in through the Heights, and the way I've always, for years, come in. And, there's no donut shops or individual bakeries anymore in the Heights. You either have to go into a supermarket or you're done.
Yeah.
There used to be a donut hole up there. Remember? There used to be a donut hole there. I remember when they were there. And,
another place I wonder how they stay open is in that building right next to Altana. The guy's got ice cream rolls and sushi or something.
Oh, yeah. In the old Tractor Supply Center there.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, they're busy all the time in the evening.
Must be.
Yeah.
Because they've been there for years.
Yeah. There used to be, I think at one time, time, too. There was a bakery there for a while. There have been a lot of stuff in and out of that center. Remember the pizza guy had a place there and all kinds of stuff in there. But
Yeah, American Classic. He's been all over town.
Yeah.
And he has good pizza.
Yeah. I don't even think he's around anymore.
I haven't heard about him in quite a while.
But, and like Billings has a Cinnabon, but you can't get in there unless you're flying somewhere.
Well, they used to have one in the mall.
Yeah. Well, they're not open. So, but who in the hell wants to walk into the mall before work in the morning and,
No.
and I just, I don't trust
Anything.
No, that's not true. Stuff that's in the gas station places and
Well, it's better than it used to be.
yeah, but I mean, people in there
No gas station sushi for Paul.
fingering up all the donuts and everything in there. God, jeez,
Well, and more stuff was open pre-COVID. Albertsons was 24 hours and Walmart was 24 hours.
Oh yeah, no more for that, is it? They never went back.
No.
Never went back.
Well, and apparently COVID was the starting point of people not wanting to work.
Yeah.
Because most places don't want to work, and I sure as hell don't want to work overnight.
And not wanting to go back now. They'd rather just stay home in their PJs and we're a bunch of slugs anymore. And speaking of which, yesterday, Donald Trump announced that Robert Kennedy Jr. is going to run the Health and Human Services Department, and man, he is going to shake things up. He's got people shaking in their boots. He's going to get America healthy again, and you're not going to have a choice. You're going to have to get healthy, and I'm glad he's doing it. I was listening to some of his stuff yesterday and what he wants to do, and of course the media hates him because he's from one of the most famous Democrat families in the history of America. He supported Trump, and he's an anti-vacciner, and that was a big part of government control, was the vaccine. We've learned all about it now, and the bad things that it did to Americans and our businesses and our families and our work ethics and our students and everything. And all of that is about control over you. But he's going after these chemicals and colorings and things that we use in our food that are bad, these preservatives that are bad, that you can't even sell those foods in Europe and places like that. But here we do. It's killing us. And I, for one, was glad to hear that. Because, well, I wish that Robert Kennedy Jr., Donald Trump, would call and listen to my suggestions, because I think they would love them, and I really do. I think they would love them, and because I've been a proponent of these for years, and you folks who have listened a long time, you know all of them. You've listened to me rant and rave about them for years, and right now, with the way it's going in the direction and the move now to make America healthier, safer, it would tie in wonderfully with what they want to do. President-elect Trump will nominate anti-vaccine activist Robert Kennedy to serve as secretary. Now, none of these Democrats are ever activists, are they?
No, they're not.
No. You assholes. You are.
Relentless.
Kennedy, a former Democrat. He's not former. He's still a Democrat. He just decided to run as an independent. He's going to have a major role in health policy, Health and Human Service Secretary. And in fact, I'm going to go over all of his appointees for you this morning so you can keep up. He named a couple new ones yesterday. Doug Collins is going to run the Department of Veterans Affairs, which is good. North Dakota's governor, Doug Burgum, remember, he ran for the Republican nomination. He's going to run the Department of Interior, which is big. That's a big one. But anyway, back to the health thing. Kennedy's going to get to the bottom and to show you the truth of these vaccines and shots that you got.
Really?
Oh, yeah. What was in them, how these pharmaceutical companies in America have just relentless power over you. The government, of course, control. That's what it was all about. These dyes and things that we use in artificial colorings and our cereals and foods, it should all be banned. These preservative chemicals that are bad for you. I mean, they use some of this stuff they put in food as extracts from coal sludge after it's used. I mean, it's crazy what we consume. And we need to get America healthy again. 75% of all of America is either overweight or obese now. 75%. You see a grade school walking into the classroom after, and it's appalling what these young kids look like. like. Nobody can get into our U.S. military. They can't pass the physical fitness requirements, folks. Not to mention the fact they can't add or read yet. But the physical fitness thing, we may have been dumb back in the 70s, but we were fit. And they're going to do a lot of things. Now, I know they would love my suggestion, and I've been suggesting this for years and years, and it's a great idea. Number one, and I know Trump would love this idea. Anything that is good for you or is good for your health should be tax deductible. It's an incentive for people. I know he would love that idea. And you folks know I've said this for years. Anything good for you or good for your health that will improve your health is tax deductible. Just think of that, folks. Fruits, vegetables, whole grains, low-fat milk, all these things that are good, chicken, fish, some of these things that are really good for you, yogurts without sugar, all these things, zero sugar, 0 calorie drinks, all these things that are really good for you, gym equipment, entry fees, for instance, to walk on the hiking trails and stuff, bicycles. I mean, the list goes on and on. All that kind of stuff should be tax deductible. Hey, that's an idea. It's an incentive. People would buy it, so you know what? Then hell, they might use it if they get it. Push brooms instead of blowers. Anything like that. How about this? Push mowers that aren't self-propelled.
I don't want one.
I know you don't. But it's tax deductible for those people who buy one. Anything that's good for your health. That's number one. Number two, anybody who gets a SNAP card in America, or food stamps, the way it used to be called, everything in stores all across America now, every single item there is out there, they're all barcoded. They're all barcoded. Nobody does it in the old days like we had to do at the grocery stores, where we had these guns with stickers on them, and you set the price, and you and the price was on them.
Right.
They're all barcoded. Anybody that gets SNAP cards now or government money for food for themselves and their family, it's barcoded, and that SNAP card will only allow you to buy things that are healthy and nutritious for your family. If you want to buy a bag of cheese puffs, or you want to buy some fudge bars, or you want to buy Captain Crunch, you are perfectly allowed to do so.
At the beginning of the welfare and those type of things, it was never set up so you could buy crab legs.
That's right. You could still buy those, but you buy those with your own money.
Right.
Because taxpayers are buying that for you.
It's a busy month at the Blue Cat Bar and Grill and the Roadside Event Center. November 17th, sports fans, join us for the Cat and Grizz Sweet Sundries Cookie Class. Have a blast creating unique holiday treats. November 23rd, it's Glow Bingo with DJ Dave Austin. A fun-filled night with lots of lights and the chance to win big. Cooler temps call for the Cat's warm bread bowls with homemade soup. Don't miss prime rib Saturdays and sushi and sliders on Sunday nights. The Blue Cat Bar and Grill in Huntley, just 9 miles east of the Metro Park exit.
And then so what do? We allow everybody to buy those unhealthy things that add pounds and weight and add to their high blood pressure, their blood sugar, everything. And then what do? Then the taxpayers, we pick up then all of their medical costs. So they're killing themselves by what they buy and eat. And then here's another 100. We'll take care of your medical costs. That's just stupid. That is dumb. That is just awful business sense in America. We're paying to kill you and letting you buy the stuff that's killing you and make you unhealthy. And then after that, after we allow you to do that, then we'll pay for all your medical bills to treat you for the bad decisions you made. That's stupid. We could fix all that. Get people started. Get them on the right track. I know they would love those ideas. And we're not denying you. We're not denying you the ability to go buy a self-propelled mower or riding mower. We're not denying you the ability to buy fudge bars. Not denying you. But we're giving you incentive to do the right thing. And we're not making you and me and all you listening pay for all of that for the other people that's getting us in the pocketbook twice. We're paying for the crap that they're eating, and then we're paying to treat them and fix them because of their bad choices.
Right.
I know they would love that. And if you make bad choices in your life, that's your choice. That's your freedom. Great. But nobody else should be responsible for paying for your bad decisions.
Exactly right.
So they're trying to, they want to get all this wokeness out of education, which is awesome. Awesome. Want to get rid of the Department of Education and get power back to the states. You will decide how the money is best spent for your students. I love it. Look, folks, I've read the crap. There ain't any other radio announcer in this town that read School District 2's books.
Right.
I did. The wokeness out of there, gender, critical race theory, all that crap they put in the books was all done by the Department of Education. It's ruined our students. It's ruined their mental capacities. We have kids that can't read and write yet, do math. They can't get into the military. They're having to educate them before they can get in the military, not to mention their physical fitness. I love that. Get it out of our school. And the people who oppose it because that's how they have developed the mind-numb robots that are going to carry their torch and their way of thinking into the next generation. Yeah. That's why they do it. That's where they'll get their power. So if you haven't stayed in touch with all these nominees that'll be moving in, and AP and the Democrats, well, these people aren't qualified. They're not done. And have you a-holes looked at the people that Joe Biden has in his cabinet? Mm-hmm. Our Surgeon General, that one, oh my gosh, some of these people, and they were only picked because of their gender status or anything, and they've ruined it. Pete Buttigieg, let's look at that plan member. Pete Buttigieg, who was the mayor of a town in Indiana, was put in charge, folks, of the entire transportation infrastructure of America. Now, you know how much experience he had? Zero. Right. Nothing. And look what happened over the last 4 years with airlines, airplanes, railroads, everything. It was a disaster. The shipping ports around America, everything he touched was a you-know-what. Had no experience. They put him right in, sailed through. But Trump's people, we're going to question their qualifications, okay? Some key posts are being filled, and I'm going to run over the list for you. Marco Rubio, Florida Senator, Secretary of State. Marco Rubio has been dealing with foreign policy and foreign affairs for years. This man is totally qualified. Tulsi Gabbard, Director of National Intelligence. Everybody's questioning her ability to do so. Tulsi Gabbard's been involved in the U.S. military for years and years and years. They don't like her because she was a Democrat turned Republican. She used to be a House member on the Intelligence Committee when she was out there in Hawaii. Matt Gaetz, Attorney General. They really hate him. You know why? Because Matt Gaetz is a viper. That man is going to get in there and he is going to sniff out all this corrupt bull crap that has happened in the last 4 years, targeting people, using the DOJ to eliminate political adversaries across the country. Right. He's going to know whose bag of cocaine that was in the White House, folks. He's going to know this crap. They know it. They don't want him in there. He's been on the House Intelligence Committee. They don't want him in there. Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee will be ambassador to Israel. He's picked him. Peter Buttigieg will be Deputy Chief of Staff of Communications and a personal assistant to the president. He does not need Senate confirmation. Robert Kennedy picked him Health and Human Services Director. Trump nominated, though, an anti-vaccine activist. Well, President Biden nominated a pro-vaccine activist, you butts. You see how this works? He is going to clean things up, get chemicals out of your food. This is long overdue, folks. It's killing us. Stephen Miller, an immigration hardliner. Look at how they describe these people. Supports deportations of the worst in the United States, like most Americans do. Be his Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy. He doesn't need Senate confirmation, so he's in. William McGinley served as a lawyer for President Trump. That will be his White House counsel. He does not need to be confirmed. James Blair, he will be Deputy Chief of Staff for Legislative, Political, and Public Affairs, assistant to the president. He doesn't need confirmation. Matt Gaetz, we already talked about that, to run the DOJ. Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, they will need Senate confirmation. Mike Waltz, Army National Guard officer, war veteran, will be his national security advisor. Served multiple tours in Afghanistan and other wars, been involved in the House Arms Committee. He'll need Senate confirmation. Susie Wiles, his main chief of staff, she will not need confirmation. She's a fireball. Steve Witkoff will be a special envoy to the Middle East. We mentioned Tulsi Gabbard. She needs to be confirmed by the Senate. El Elsie Stefanik, United Nations ambassador, representative from New York. If confirmed, she'd represent America's interest in the United Nations, which you know how President Trump got everybody in that and NATO to step up and start paying their fair share so it wouldn't come out of your pocket. She's a peace advocate, wants peace in the Ukraine, wants peace in Israel. Dan Scavino, this guy's an animal. He's a great pick. One of his most trusted aides, a senior advisor to the president during this campaign. He will be deputy chief of staff, which means he's in charge of everything that comes into the president and what they do. This guy's tough as nails. Lee Zeldin to run the Environmental Protection Agency. Lee Zeldin also almost won the governor's seat in New York. He will work to restore U.S. energy dominance, revitalize our auto industry, bring back American jobs that have been lost because of these fictitious climate change agenda that Joe Biden's non-qualified people put in place. Kristi Noem, South Dakota, Homeland Security Department. She'll clean that up. She'll need Senate confirmation. Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Defense, contributor to Fox Network since 2014, where he developed a friendship with Trump and made regular appearances on their show. He lacks senior military experience. You are so full of crap. This guy, decorated, won 2 Bronze Stars, has been one of the leading woke experts on what has happened in the U.S. military with their DEI transgender policies, has written numerous books on it. He's going to clean that up. What do you mean? John Ratcliffe, former Texas congressman, he's picked him to be director of the CIA. Oh, yeah. Now, he was Trump's director of national intelligence the first time around. He'll need confirmation. These guys, they get into these places, folks. I'm telling you, we get our own DOJ guy, we get our own CIA guy, FBI guy, FEMA manager. We get these people in there, and you're going to learn what these people did to you over the last 4 years.
And what the media did to help hide it.
You damn right. Tom Homan, this guy, he's great. He's going to be our border czar. This guy's tough as nails on the border. Oh, wait, and they don't like him. I mean, he's going to help with the deportation. By the way, you know he was a Barack Obama appointee. He did the same thing under Barack Obama. He helped deport 3 million illegals in America under Barack Obama. But that wasn't a problem because that was Barack Obama doing it. He's tough as nails. He's getting there. He's in there. And there's more to come, folks. More to come. I really think that I think Donald Trump, when he gets power, I think he's going to pardon Hunter Biden. He doesn't want any of that looming and hanging over the head of America. All that crap. Because, you know, he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
He's guilty as hell. Everybody knows it. Taxes, stealing money from foreign adversaries. I mean, him and the Biden family. It's just crooked as hell. Joe's brother, all them. I think he will just pardon all of them, clean that all up, get America to move forward, and I think he'll do that too right away. Wokeness is big, getting that all cleaned up, thrown out, so we can get back to what made us great. Math scores, science scores, reading scores, get all that removed. And there's this article today from Montana. A state judge in Montana heard arguments yesterday over policies that block transgender people from changing the sex designation on their birth certificates and their driver's license. Mike Menahan did not issue a ruling on requests for an injunction to block those prohibitions. An attorney said from the American Criminal Liberties Union of Montana. The case was filed in April. It blocks people born in Montana from changing their sex designation on their birth certificate. Well, you haven't changed your sex yet. You know, you can dress differently. You can do all you want, but you haven't removed your biceps and your chest muscles. You haven't removed any of that yet, and a few other things that you haven't removed yet. Why? You're not going through every 30 days what women go through every 30 days. You're not doing that. You're not having hot flashes yet. None of that yet. You haven't changed your sex. You just changed your appearance. This is the kind of stuff they're getting rid of.
It's a busy month at the Blue Cat Bar and Grill and the Roadside Event Center. November 17th, sports fans, join us for the Cat and Grizz Sweet Sundries Cookie Class. Have a blast creating unique holiday treats. November 23rd, it's Glow Bingo with DJ Dave Austin. A fun-filled night with lots of lights and the chance to win big. Cooler temps call for the Cat's warm bread bowls with homemade soup. Don't miss prime rib Saturdays and sushi and sliders on Sunday nights. The Blue Cat Bar and Grill in Huntley, just 9 miles east of the Metro Park exit.
You know, all that comes into play, too. Then they would have to, if they change that, driver's licenses, a marriage license, your passport, all that kind of stuff. It's going to be kind of difficult for police. Can you imagine them? If they pull you over and your hands are on top of the police car and they're doing a pat down and it says female and there's a ding-a-ling down there. What are they supposed to do?
Yeah.
Your driver's license says female, but...
Well, I'm thinking passports.
Yes, that's right.
You're trying to get back into America, but you are not the sex that this passport says you are.
And they look at that.
They do.
They look at that. That's why it's so important, folks. Then we have our Montana Supreme Court here. That's why this is so important. Our Montana Supreme Court, where they just ruled that your young children have the right to make their own medical decisions. You don't have any. Whoa. Who are you? You're just their parent. You just brought them into the world and raised them and gave birth to them. You don't have the right to determine whether a 9-year-old wants to have their ding-a-ling cut off or not. They just made that decision, folks. That's crazy as hell. And that's your Supreme Court of Montana. That's why those judges are so important when we vote for them. Because when they ruled on that, they were very, very particular when they put in his or her own medical decisions.
You're right.
All these advances we made for women's sports and Title IX and everything are being thrown out the window, and people now are starting to wake up. Last year, when our legislature met, they passed a law defining the word sex in state law as being for male or female based upon your assigned sex at birth. But the Montana Supreme Court overturned it, said that's unconstitutional because it did not accurately explain its purpose. See, Montana is one of 7 states that does not allow people to change the sex on your birth certificate. What is a birth certificate? A birth certificate describes who you are and what you were when you were born.
Right.
If you want something else, then come up with an adult certificate or something else. 2023, Montana lawmakers passed a bill blocking gender-affirming medical care for minors. That was blocked. Judge said it's likely unconstitutional. It's unconstitutional that parents... Here you go. The judge said it's unconstitutional for a parent to make that medical decision for their minor. And you know what? All those people that are making these decisions, these judges, they all went to college. They all went to school. They all got into these very, very liberal courses and colleges that have directives, that have their DEI in place, that have all their wokeness in place. And that's where their opinions and minds were formed. And that's why they're so angry about trying to remove this from our educational systems. That's the direction they want to go. Judge said it's unconstitutional. It will harm the physical health of minors rather than protect them from experimental treatments. That's why we got to put the right people in place, folks. Of all the things that's absurd, that is one of the most things that's absurd to me, is taking away parental rights, taking away a parent's responsibility and decision-making authority over their young children about their medical well-being. They can decide. I know, Mark.
Yeah.
Mario, I see he's shaking. It's crazy to think of that. But yet the government had all the authority on you to mandate a vaccine, didn't they?
Yeah, costing some people their jobs.
And their lives.
Yeah.
And now physical impairments they will deal with the rest of their life. It's crazy. It's crazy, folks. That's why this is so important. We got 4 years to get a lot of this stuff fixed. Get a lot of it fixed. And I think everybody is starting to realize a lot of the mistakes that we have made in the recent years. And now they're putting their foot down and they're saying no. They're saying no. We don't want these men in our young girls' bathrooms. always said, okay, great. 2 bathrooms. Women and everyone else. Oh, I don't like that. They have 2 bathrooms then. Women and everybody else. That way we have a transgender bathroom. Women's bathroom and everyone else. Australia, they're making moves. We told you earlier in the week, they got a deal they approved to ban children from social media when they're under the age of 16. And you know what? They're getting no backlash from Facebook or Meta or others. They say that's fine. Supporters said social media is doing so much harm to our youth, we have to do something. Their plan, X, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, until their 16th birthday. And it's very popular in Australia. The territories all voted unanimously to back the plan. Some 17-year-old punk-ass kid there in Melbourne said that, well, these lawmakers, they lack the perspective on social media that young people have gained by growing up in a digital age. We don't lack the understanding. We see what it's done to you. Kids are being exposed to so many harmful things on social media. So many. And they all know where to go to look at it.
Right. And so few of those kids' phones are monitored by their parents.
They do. Bullying, sextortion, misinformation about their bodies and this and that, and the world hates you. And I mean, just all kinds of just harmful stuff. So they're starting to make some strides. We're starting to wake up. And I think that was part of the message that was sent in this recent election.
You bet your bottom dollar it was.
No doubt. Don't like the direction we were going with all this stuff. People said, whoa, wait a minute. Blacks, Hispanics, you name it, Asians, people of Muslim descent, all voting in record numbers for all this to stop, and let's get back to what we know and love about America. That was the message that was sent. Hey, you want some more evidence? Here's another one. I saw this last night. Last night in Chicago, yesterday in Chicago, the City Council of Chicago. Now, you can only imagine what that's like.
Oh, God.
It's like the City Council in San Francisco or Berkeley or any of those, that you know what their City Council is like in Chicago. Their City Council yesterday voted 15 to zip to stop spending all of Chicagoans' taxpayer dollars on more illegal immigrant food plans, housing plans, educational plans, all of that. Stop it. Their mayor went nuts when Donald Trump was going to deport them and try to get our country back. And the mayor said, not in Chicago. In our city, we're going to continue to give illegals every single thing that they want. We're going to help them with their housing, food, everything. And you know what their city council did? 15-0 yesterday. Every one of them gave them the middle finger and said, whoa, we are not going to do this to the people of Chicago anymore.
Good for them.
15-0 they voted to put that mayor in his place. It's killing and hurting the people of Chicago. It's hurting all the other populations there in Chicago. And they put a stop to it. I love it. It's great. Another victory. Another example of people finally saying no more. No more. Folks, you can't get a more liberal, progressive city council than the one in Chicago. But they know what their people were feeling. The Hispanic populations, the black populations, even the poor white populations, city, it doesn't matter. People affected by housing, job losses, everything. They said no. They said no. You can feel it. You can just kind of sense the tide changing here.
Oh, yeah.
And because people now have realized, they have seen, they experience, and they have felt the damage done by these woke, liberal, progressive, socialistic plans, laws, and orders that have all been put in place. They could see what damage it did to America.
Yeah.
So that was some great, just little things, folks. Just these little things are showing you that people are fed up. They're fed up with it. Our city council yesterday put the city mayor's raise on hold. They want to find out more about this utility billing thing and how it worked out. Mayor Bill Cole said this, folks. Any increase in pay at this time, when there's so many questions about this utility billing thing, would send the wrong message to the public.
Good for them.
Maybe he's finally starting to get it. God, how long have we been on him? Maybe they're starting to wake up on how people were feeling about these kinds of things. I mean, all your last tax things have all been shot down. Maybe they're starting, too, to get the message. The guy makes $212,000 a year right now. So anyway, that's been put on hold. So maybe people are waking up a little bit. And maybe we've turned the corner, folks. We can all hope so.
Well, at least for a few years.
Mm-hmm. We can all hope so. Got the meteor showers this week. I saw a big one this morning on the way into town. Dang, those things move.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how fast they go, but those things, they move so fast. I mean, it's like dropping a rock off a building. And I saw some this morning because we've got the supermoon out there. And but you can check those out this weekend if the moon's not interfering. So
Well, just bring my lawn chairs out, set up on your road out there.
there you go.
Not competing with the city lights.
Mm-hmm. Wear a bulletproof vest because it is hunting season, Wilson, and bullets are flying everywhere. So
I'll bet.
wear a bulletproof vest, but set your chairs up out there, and you might be able to see them this weekend. And I think they got that rescued and reclaimed thing this weekend or something down in Metro, too. I think I saw something on the billboard. Ain't quite a big of an event is coming up next week, but we got a big one next week.
Big one next week, and the weather's looking good for
Yeah,
it.
all starts Monday. Just keep that in mind. That's all you need to know. We got to get ready for news, and I have to read what Mary Sheehy Schmo says today.
Oh, it is Friday.
About the fallacy of school choice. Oh,
Go
good
back to
God.
Nazi Germany.
No, don't go back there. I can tell you where to go.
Okay, we'll get rolling. First news coming up, 6:15.
The Breakfast Flakes podcast brought to you by the Blue Cat Bar and Grill, next to the Roadside Event Center in Huntley. The Blue Cat, it's where it's at.